interviews?
Yes, they did, except for Festus.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. How do you view this season on the whole? Is it a disappointment because of the way it started, or successful because of what you did in the second half?
You know, it's a good question. I've tried to evaluate this season. It was our inconsistency for the first 50 games was frustrating for everybody. We'd have some really good wins, couldn't build any momentum. It was obviously we didn't meet the expectations that were set, and that made it a very difficult season. So in that light, I look through that prism, and then I look at the way we finished and how we played the last 20-some games, last month and a half. Making it to the playoffs was no small feat, and I think, you know, our series. I won't let the Golden State series taint the fact that we did get into the playoffs, but in the end, it was a very memorable season. It was a frustrating season. On the whole, it was probably, because of the way we finished, it was a successful season. But I think it goes to show, I think it's a valuable learning experience for everyone on the team this year, because how valuable November and December and January are to a season. You know, when you think that the game that we stole in Denver basically made the difference of us making the playoffs or not, those games matter, and I think our approach next season will profit from the experience we gained this year. So in that sense, it was very positive as well.
Is it possible to put into words like what it will take to get off to a little better start next season? I mean, it's not just one thing, right? But
no, it's not one thing. You know, I think we talked about so many times consistency. So we're, you know, basically the 30th defensive team in the first 30 games, and then we're in the top 10 for the next 20 games. But when we're in the top 10 for those 20 games, our offense wasn't very good. So being in the top 10 didn't equate to wins. I think it's definitely a mindset. Like I said, I think regardless of who's on the roster next year, obviously we'll have a lot of players back from this season, and we'll be able to draw on that. And the way we played with our focus at both ends of the court to finish the season, I think will carry over. And whether it's you know, offensively, defensively, fourth quarter, getting off to good starts, whatever it is, I think we'll be able to draw on a lot of experiences from this year.
Terry, how do you view Myers' season, and what does he need to do moving forward?
It was an up and down season like our team. I think the biggest thing for Myers is he needs to probably get a feel of reacting to the game. You know, I think he needs to play a lot this summer and work on his reaction time at both ends of the court. He had some good games for us, but certainly I don't know if last season's injury had any effect on this season or not, but you know, he was up and down. I mean, I think he shot about 34% from three, and everybody was disappointed with his shooting. You know, he was, I would say he had a disappointing year for him, and I think he's looking forward to having a better season next year.
How much are you looking forward to just having a full training camp with Nurkic?
It's you know, what's remarkable about Yusuf coming in and having an impact like he did is not the ordinary. And you know, my hope for him over the summer is that he gets healthy, gets in shape, and that we have a productive training camp, because he was learning on the fly, and to have the impact that he did in that situation was remarkable. But having a full training camp, he'll be more familiar with his teammates, just the environment. He'll be healthy, in better shape. So that's very encouraging.
Terry, given the physical condition he was in when he arrived in Portland,
and maybe some of the previous stuff that we've heard about. Do you have concerns about him over the summer staying in shape and all that? Is there anything you can do about that?
It's a concern in that I want to make sure, I hope that once he's able to work out with his injury, and to me is his priority over the summer. Now, when I say it's a concern, am I worried about it? I'm not worried about it because I think he's a pretty conscientious young man, and he tasted some success. I think he's going to do whatever it takes to go into September and October being in shape and having that be positive. So it's a concern in that I want it to happen, but I don't think I'm necessarily worried about it happening.
Why do you think Mo Harkless struggled against the Warriors?
That's a good question. You know, I think everybody struggled against the Warriors, to be honest. I mean, we struggled as a team. But the Warriors are very good defensively. I think, you know, Mo's strengths are his athleticism, and we played a team that was pretty athletic. And, you know, he was matched with Draymond Green or Kevin Durant, so he was matched up against some pretty good athletes and very good players. So some of the finishes around the basket weren't there for him. I thought in Game 1 he played well. I don't know if they necessarily made any adjustments on him or not, but no, I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I mean, it was a tough series for everybody.
Is this your most difficult season as a coach here?
Oh, no question. Yeah, no question. This was a difficult season. When you look at the first 4 seasons, you can go through each one, and we overachieved first year, second year, third year. We're on pace to probably overachieve until Wes got hurt. Then the fourth year, obviously we overachieved. So this was the first year that we didn't exceed expectations, and by virtue of that, it makes it a little bit disappointing and a little frustrating.
Does that change how you approach the off season and next season, or?
No, I think you always draw on experience. You know, how we go into training camp. I'll be talking with coaches, my coaches, other coaches about, you know, what kind of mentality to take into next season. I think the good thing is that we've kind of established a good culture here, and it's worked well, and I think that's been able to build on itself. So when you start training camp, you like to have a freshness, but you also kind of like say, this is what we do. So there's a little bit of a balance.
What players on the roster will be going to Summer League?
Pat and Jake and Tim.
From like a league-wide perspective, no coaches got fired this year.
How about that?
Yeah, what's your feel?
Season's not completely over. When is the season officially over?
I guess I'm kind of regular season.
Okay. Yeah. And when was the last time, I don't even know, I know somebody wrote that. Dwight, you've been around. When was the last time somebody? 70s?
That's the last guy. A long time.
Yeah. Oh, that's remarkable. It's good. Good for coaches.